The 2019 Teacher's Guide to Technology is here from my friend Jennifer Gonzalez. Go to coolcatteacher.com/guide and stay tuned for more. 5 popular must-watch videos with inspiring stories that will make you smile. Episode 435.
The 10-Minute Teacher Podcast with Vicki Davis. Every weekday, you'll learn powerful, practical ways to be a more remarkable teacher today.
So today we're talking with my friend Trevor Muir about his Facebook channel. I almost said YouTube channel there, Trevor. So he's the author of Epic Classroom. He was on episode 161, and we will link to that in the show notes. But we're going to count down Trevor's top 5 most popular videos on Facebook. Now, when I say popular, he has 24 million views on Facebook for these videos. So, Trevor, do you want to start with your 5th most popular and tell us what it is and why? And we will include these in the show notes, by the way.
Yeah, you bet, Vicki. So I love making videos, and I love making them for teachers because I think teachers like to laugh and they like to feel part of a tribe. And so all of my videos have something to do with either getting some type of emotion out of you, but also just to make you feel like you are not alone in what you do. And so my 5th most viewed video that I have on Facebook on my Epic Classroom page is, what if we didn't have teachers? And essentially what it's about is like, what if we didn't have all the great teachers in the world? What if Einstein didn't have Mr. Carathéodory, who introduced him to like advanced mathematics? What if Bill Gates didn't have his teacher that let him hang around after school and geek out on electronics? What if I didn't have my teacher when my parents got divorced in middle school, and I didn't have this amazing teacher, Mr. Peters, who helped lead me through this really difficult time? Where would I be? Where would the world be? So it kind of just asked that big question: what if society didn't have teachers? So that's number 5.
Wow. And what kind of comments did you get on this conversation? Because this is thought-provoking.
Yeah, well, I mean, it really blew up because I think deep down, all of us know a teacher who's had a major impact on our own personal lives. And when you kind of hear all those stories stacked up, you realize what kind of major impact teachers have had on the world in general. And so a lot of really positive feedback, a lot of people kind of interested in that idea. And it was shared, which was interesting. This one was shared with a lot of people who are not teachers. So a lot of just, working professionals or students even, and parents who were impacted by teachers and shared it with their teacher friends, saying, hey, thanks for what you've done in my child's life. Thanks for what you did in my life. So, yeah.
I love that. Okay, so what is your 4th most popular video?
Okay, number 4, it's a video called School Doesn't Have to Look Like This Anymore. The topic of my first book, it's called The Epic Classroom. It's all about introducing not necessarily a new way of doing school, but a new way of thinking about it. How do we view school as this ongoing story with real conflict and adventure and authenticity and all of the work students do, whether it's in math class, English class, history class, elementary school? How do we really make it authentic and real world? And that's in contrast to my school experience and a lot of schools that I've visited, to where it's really about getting the grade, or it's about moving to the next level. And it has very little to do with what's actually happening in the real world. It starts with the premise of my young son, and I got a really cool footage of him. He's only 3 years old when I made this video. And it kind of just raises the point that this kid is excited and interested about everything in the world. But then it kind of reveals my fear as a parent, as a father, when he goes to school, is he going to lose some of that zest? Is he going to still be as excited about worms in the ground and why trees grow and why the sky is blue? Or does school kind of take that passion and creativity away? And I think in a lot of experiences for students I've had in my own classroom, but also myself, I think it does, but I don't think it has to.
Wow.
And so the video really raises that question: how do we keep that fire alive in kids?
Wow, we could park on any of these topics because I can see why they have millions of views. These are so powerful. What's our 3rd?
Okay, number 3 is me telling a story. Well, the video is called The Day a Goat Got Loose in My Classroom. And it just tells a ridiculous true story. When I was teaching high school freshmen, this one girl brought in a goat, and a baby goat without my permission, but she said the principal gave her permission, which he didn't, and blah, blah, blah. And the goat got out, and this little goat ran all over the school, and it happened to get out of my classroom, and it ran underneath the feet of my principal and a board member, one of our school board members, and they lost their minds, and I got in trouble, and I got a letter of reprimand in my file. And it was just this big, crazy event that I thought like, oh, this is the end of my teaching career. And then a couple of years later, I look back on it, and it was just a really hilarious story. And it taught me, and it taught me the lesson that the world doesn't end just because incidents happen or bad things might happen. That the world keeps spinning, and it actually just creates really good, funny stories.
And you talk about common feelings. I think all of us teachers that is the worst feeling when something just. Like you don't even do it. Like you're an onlooker. Like this thing happens, and you're like. Well, what just happened under my watch? And am I going to lose my job because I love this career? And oh my goodness, that's just, okay, I've got to go see that one. Okay.
Well, and what's so funny about that one is I put that up and I just get all these messages and comments from other teachers saying, oh, this happened in my classroom and or something else wild happened in mine. And it kind of gave me the solidarity, like, you know what? Crazy things happen in everybody's classroom. Yeah. And I think that's why videos like that do well, because we can all say, oh, yes, I remember a time where it went haywire and I got in trouble, whatever. And so that was a fun one.
I think all of us, I just want to cringe thinking of some of mine as well. Okay, so what's our second?
All right, number 2 this is one I just released in this December, and it did really well. It's called Why Some Kids Hate Christmas. And it really raises the point that there's a lot of our students who don't look forward to 2 weeks away from the classroom, because 2 weeks away might mean 2 weeks without warm air, 2 weeks without regular meals, 2 weeks without a loving relationship, 2 weeks of abuse, whatever it is. It's so common in all of our classrooms. And so it was just kind of riffing on that point and talking about that fact, like, hey, as we approach the holiday season, just keep in mind that some kids are acting out not because they're excited to go skiing or because they're excited to get a new present and they can't wait to get out of school. They're acting out because they don't know what to do with this fear and anxiety of actually being out of school for so long, which is true for the wintertime like this, with this Christmas vacation, and it's true for summertime, and it's true for any time.
I don't think, Trevor, I would have understood that, except that when we had Hurricane Michael hit, and we were without central heating and air from October 10th to December 15th.
Oh my gosh.
And there were some really cold, and there was nothing we could do about it. And there were some really, really cold nights. And I one time we had a little space heater in our bedroom, and I literally put on my jacket and my gloves in the bedroom. And I remember getting to school going, I'm so glad I'm warm. I think I want to go to sleep, you know, and I never, I totally understand that now. And it breaks my heart, because I think that when people talk about, oh, I hope it gets cold so I can have a fire, is a very affluent type comment that doesn't relate to many people who do not have central heating and air. And that's just one example. There are so many others. Okay, I'm dying to know what your number 1 is.
All right. Well, number 1, this has been the golden goose for me and growing my Facebook page and everything. It's got millions of views, and it's called "Teaching is Tiring," and then in parentheses, but worth it. And it's really just a video that spends the first 3 quarters talking about all the reasons why teaching is tiring, from standing up all day, not being able to use the bathroom for 8 hours, parent-teacher conferences, coaching soccer, chaperoning dances, all of the different reasons why teaching is such a tiring profession, tiring occupation to be a part of. But then the last quarter of the video is really about why it's all worth it. So when a kid comes to you and finally knows what they want to do with their life, or when a kid reads for the first time, or when you get that letter in the mail 20 years later from a student saying, hey, thank you, you had this major impact on my life. All of these little things stack up, and that's why it's all worth it. That's why we put up with the month of May. That's why we're okay with cleaning up glitter every day and cleaning up vomit and all the other things that teachers do, because it truly is the most gratifying and satisfying job in the world.
Oh, wow. It is. You know, you're on YouTube, but you said you get so many more views on your Facebook. That's where you share and where you video. Are these live streamed, or do you produce and edit them ahead of time?
I produce and edit most of them. I do some Facebook Live, and I also have a YouTube channel as well. And I always post the same videos there as well, because that's a lot more shareable in schools, the YouTube side of it. And so I put them in both places, but for some reason, the community has really come around the Epic Classroom Facebook page, and where I really put these videos all the time.
So what do you tell teachers who want to share their own stories on Facebook and YouTube?
Oh, you know what? That's such a good question. I would just say do it. You know, when I first started making videos, I would just set up my cell phone and I'd put it on a shelf and stand in front of it, and I would just say what was ever on my mind. And then I got a little bit more sophisticated and started using a better camera and editing software. And it's just the answer to how do you do it is just to go and do it. And I think there's some brilliant teachers out there who need to share their messages and get that inspiring processes and methods and thoughts out to the world. And we need you to go and put that stuff online, and we need more teacher videos.
Jennifer Gonzalez has released her 2019 Teacher's Guide to Technology with over 200 education technology tools, including tools for assessment, flipped learning, presentations, parent engagement, video engagement, and more. In this guide, you get a simple description, a screenshot of the tool, and a play button that takes you to a video about how the tool works. Learn more at coolcatteacher.com/guide. Now, I am an affiliate for this product, which means I am paid a small percentage of the fee if you purchase it. This is at no additional cost to you, and I only recommend the best products for educators on the 10-Minute Teacher. So, the 2019 Teacher's Guide to Technology. Hope you enjoy.
Thank you for listening to the 10-Minute Teacher podcast. You can download the show notes and see the archive at coolcatteacher.com/podcast. Never stop learning.